Hi, it's me, Vamp, and welcome to the podcast. Today I am joined by my good friend and expert on all things Animal Crossing, Celestial Skies.
Hi.
Okay, so before we begin, I tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
Yes,
Well,
yes, I am.
my name is Skies, and I started streaming back in 2015, but I don't stream anymore, and that is how I met Vamp. And I do love Animal Crossing, and I'm here today to help teach Vamp about Animal Crossing and hopefully get him more involved with the game.
Okay, and the very first question, this is basically an Animal Crossing podcast episode. Let's ask nothing about Animal Crossing per se. How does Animal Crossing relate to Warframe, which is a game you've also played, correct?
Yes, I would not compare Animal Crossing with Warframe whatsoever. They
Actually,
are just two completely different games.
Actually, I have a counterpoint for that because I knew you were going to say that. Okay,
Okay.
so you were talking to me the other day, off the podcast about a character that you can buy stolen art from or forgeries, fake art from in Animal
Yes.
Crossing. I would
Yes, his name is
argue
Red.
I would argue that this red character is Davra from Warframe, which is,
Oh.
yeah, 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 see,
Yes, I can
exactly.
see
Full
exactly what
circle.
you're talking about.
Exactly, entirely. Now, unfortunately, in the short time that I took to come up with this bit, I could not think of any other characters that relate. Maybe Isabel as Space Mom, but I feel like that opens up a whole different can of worms right there. So let's just move on. Okay, so as you know, I really do want to play Animal Crossing. I've never played before. For me and for everyone else out there who's listening right now, what the first thing, the very first thing you should do on Animal Crossing when you first start playing?
When you first start playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, I feel like the one thing that you should really think about is where you want to put your residential service building because you well, this is after like you actually pick like the island map that you want. So I'll get back to that in a minute. But I feel like once you actually get to your island and you have the ability to put down your residential service building, I feel like you really need to put thought into where you want that building to go because that is one of the only buildings that you can't move later in the future because when it comes to your island design, a lot of people are really into rearranging things and changing things, and it could bother you later that that building isn't in the right spot. So keep in mind where you want that building to go because you will not be able to move it later once you're done with that. But back to when you're first starting the game, make sure that the map that or yeah, the map that you choose is the one that you want because you'll see like your island layout. Make sure that's the one that you want because you can't change it later. You will get the ability to terraform and add water here and there, but that's your map. You can't change it. It's one and done.
Okay, yep, that is very good advice. Now, I do have to ask, do you start with like any money at all?
Um, That is something because when I first started playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, this was back in the beginning of 2020. I don't believe that you start with any money whatsoever, but I could be wrong. I could Google it if you want.
No,
Um,
no, that's fine. I guess I'll be surprised if I don't start with anything. Maybe I can hit you up in the game for some money.
but no, I don't believe that you start with anything at all because the whole premise of the game really is to make your bells, start paying your mortgage, and I don't think there's anything that you start with whatsoever because, it wants you to start grinding, start making that dough.
Okay, and speaking of making that dough, how did one eat in the game? Or did one need to eat?
You don't need to eat in the game, it's purely an optional process. But you can eat fruit in the game. And cooking is coming to Animal Crossing with the new update that will be dropping on November 5th. Um, so that is going to be bringing like different recipes and stuff like that. But there are different fruit trees such as pears, peaches, cherries, oranges, and cherries. I don't think I said the same one twice. But there are lots of different fruit trees, and oh, there's also coconuts as well that you can grow on the beach. Um, but with cooking coming to the game, you will be able to eat food, and once you eat food, you can you gain the ability to actually dig up trees as a whole and put them in your pocket, and then you can plant the tree in another spot.
Oh
But you
yeah, I
have to be
remember.
careful about that.
I remember you mentioning something about how you eat fruit and you become like Popeye the Sailor Man or something.
Yes, you basically become like the Hulk to an extent if you're not careful. Like if you eat too much fruit, you can like break a rock, or if you have an axe and you hit the tree once, like the whole thing will come down. That's why you want to be careful if you eat fruit, because if you don't want to take down certain trees or break certain rocks and stuff like that, you know, you won't want to eat fruit. Eat fruit sparingly and you won't have that problem.
Now, do
But
trees
if
grow
you,
back? Sorry to cut you off there, but
oh, you're fine. If you cut down a tree, it'll show a stump on the ground and it will not grow back. You'll have to dig up the stump or uh, plant a fruit in the ground to grow the tree back if you want it back again.
oh, okay, okay, and I'm assuming the seeds cost money.
No, there aren't any seeds in the game. Like if you were to like grow a fruit tree, you would just throw a pear in the ground and bury it, and it would grow a sapling for you.
Oh, okay. I see we're going the super realistic approach. So, back to the dough thing, which I feel like you thought I was going to ask this question originally. How do you make money in the game?
Did think you were gonna ask me that originally. Um, there are many different ways that you can make money in this game. It really isn't one specific way that works for everyone, but what I personally think works the best is um the fossils sell for a lot of money, and in the beginning of the game I normally try to get the fossil portion of my museum complete, so that way whenever I find fossils I can just get them assessed and then sell them so that I get a lot of money without having to worry like if any fossils that I had are in the museum or not. I can just get the money for them instead. So fossils are a great way to make money, as well as any native fruit. Well, actually, sorry, any fruit that's not native to your island will sell more than any fruit that is native to your island.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so let's say you start an island and the fruit that's growing on your island is an orange. Oranges will sell for very cheap because that's something you can get anytime you want. But if you were to sell a cherry, you'd get a lot of money for it because that's a rarity. So what you would want to do is grow a lot of different fruit trees, um, and you'll get a lot of money for those fruit. Um, and also you can fish in the game. There are certain fish that you can get like thousands of bells for, as well as certain bugs too. Um, it's really up to what you feel is the best in your money making process.
I don't think I would fish because between you and me, I've had bad experience in video games with fishing. It's more because of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, though, because I had to fish forever for a 40-pound fish so I could get the stupid heart piece. So,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I always have flashbacks to that. But,
Fishing isn't too difficult in Animal Crossing.
okay, okay. Is it similar to fishing in Warframe?
I don't really remember fishing in Warframe too much.
I don't know why I keep going back to Warframe. I made this one bit in my head before the podcast, and apparently I'm really intent on sticking to trying to compare Warframe to Animal Crossing. But
You
yeah,
are.
let's move on from that. Now, Animal Crossing has co-op, correct?
Yes, it does.
Which is different than the original. What was Animal Crossing on the original
GameCube, but I
GameCube?
believe there might have been Animal Crossing on N64 before that, but I think it might have been just in Japan and it was under the name Animal Forest, which,
Oh, okay.
but to me, it was just GameCube.
Okay, okay. And with co-op, like say I had someone, you can visit each other's islands, correct?
Yes, you both need to have Nintendo Online in order to have that work, though. What you would do is you go to the Dodo Airlines airport on your island, and if you want a visitor yourself, you would open the gate, and you can set it so that only your best friends can visit you, which you would have to set the person as your best friend so that they were the only person able to visit, or you could set it so all your friends could visit. You are allowed to have more than one best friend at a time in the game,
Oh,
but you do
okay.
need to be careful with who you have as a best friend because
I,
if you don't fully trust them, then um, they could break things on your island. Um, Only best friends can use an axe or a shovel on your island. So if they eat fruit on your island, it could be a problem.
oh, okay. Okay. Now
But
can they
yeah,
plant trees on the
yes.
island? Oh, okay. Is there any way to, like, circling back to the whole profit thing? If they plant like, say, cherry tree, for example, on
Hmm.
your island, does it then make it not rare anymore, or is it still rare
No,
because
it
it
would be
wasn't native to your island originally?
no, it would be non-native. because it would be a cherry tree growing on your island.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
another way, I wanted to say this earlier, another way that a lot of people make money in the game is by playing the stock market, which is there is a lady who comes to your town every Sunday and she sells turnips, and you can spin a profit on it if later in the week Tom Nook is buying turnips for more than you bought them for. Now, some people make millions of bells in profit from just selling turnips.
No, I didn't
Sometimes they
realize the
go to,
turnip flipping market was so valuable.
yes, I never got into it, but there are people that are, I think there's like even a website dedicated to like finding people with like the best turnip buying prices and stuff like that. Like this is like a huge thing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that is another big way to make bells.
Okay, okay. That is good. That is good. Now, is there any like shop you can make in the game, or like?
Um, you personally, like, you can't make your own store, but if like you talk to a villager and they want to buy something from you, like they could buy something off of you. That's something that does happen occasionally. A villager will say like, "Hey, I see you're carrying a butterfly. Can I buy that for 2,000 bells?" And you're like, "Okay." Like, but as far as most of the selling and such will be from you going to Tom Nook's, or if you want to go into like a Facebook group and talk to like other people who are also playing Animal Crossing and they buy something off of you, or you make a trade for another item. But other
Oh,
than that, there's really no personal shop you can make.
so you can buy and sell, trade with your friends and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like you can drop items to them and they can give you something back.
Okay. Okay. Now this is going to seem like a very odd question, but what the point in money? What can you buy with money in Animal Crossing? With the bells, as it will.
And with bells, you can buy all different furniture items for your house or for your entire island to decorate, or you can buy the items for giving to your villagers so that they can put the items in their house as well. Because any item that you give to a villager, whether it be a clothing item or a furniture item or anything like that, they will eventually put it in their house. Their house will change as you give them different items, and any clothing items, they will put it on themselves right at the spot that you give them. So everything is like given for a reason. Decorating your island is very important because you do have an island rating. Um, as your island rating goes up, you unlock more things at island rating 3 stars, I believe it is. That's when you get the um, island designer tool for your Nook phone, and that's when you can start to terraform and um, you can start working on like flattening your island or doing whatever you want to do with changing the landscape or adding water. And a lot of people like to change the layout if they can.
Ah, okay. Okay. I was actually going to ask a stupid question. I'll tell you what it was. I was going to ask if Animal Crossing was crossplay, but then I remembered it's a Nintendo Switch only title, so it doesn't need to be crossplay. So yeah. But
That's funny.
speaking of crossplay, you recently, I know we're changing games altogether for a second, but you recently found out that Destiny 2 is crossplay.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to get more of my friends who I thought, well, not that I thought, that I knew were only on PC Destiny. I'm trying to get them to play Destiny again, but they're like, "Oh, I uninstalled the game." So I'm like, they did this a little bit too late.
Ah, okay, okay.
But you know what? Me and you can always play Destiny.
Yep, we can. One could say it is our destiny.
That was great.
Yeah, I try. I try. Now, I'll be honest, this whole time I've been staring at one DM that you sent me a while back. It's of the dancing orange character. And I remember why you sent it to me. You were talking to me about the amiibo cards.
Yes. What would you like to know about the amiibo cards?
Okay, so you were mentioning the other day when we were talking about how you can replace your neighbors with better neighbors.
Yes, so in your island, you will have a campsite. And if your island is full, I believe the maximum amount of villagers that you can have are 10. Um, if you have an amiibo card with, like, let's say, Tangy, the orange cat gift that I sent you, um, you could invite her to the campsite. And when you invite somebody to the campsite, they will require you to make something for them. And if you don't know the recipe for the item that they want, they will give you the recipe. So that is a pro of inviting people to the campsite, even if you don't want them to move in. Like you can still like kind of use their amiibo card to your advantage because they might give you a recipe that you don't know. But back to what I was saying, if you invited Tangy to the campsite and she had you make her something, she would be grateful for the item, but she would say, "No, I don't want to move here." And you would have to do that process 3 times. And on the third time, she would say, "Okay, I'll move here, but I have to talk to your residential services about moving in here because your town is full." And then it would pop up a list of every single person in your town, and you would pick who Tangy was going to talk to convince them to move out. And
Oh,
anytime
okay.
I've done this, it has worked. I don't think it can fail. I don't think that there's I don't think that it would be possible for like somebody in your campsite to be like, "Oh, I tried talking to so and so and they won't let me move here." But who
Oh,
knows? Maybe it's possible, but that is one way, one surefire way to get somebody out of your town that you don't want to live there.
okay. So you'll have to bribe someone to come to your town. Okay, okay.
Not well, yeah, kind of in a way bribing them because they want you to do their bidding and build them furniture.
Okay, okay. That is cool. I actually look forward to getting Animal Crossing in the future and seeing what's up, and then I'll probably mess up day one and I'll be like, guys, can you help me? I messed up.
I don't think there's any way to really mess up in Animal Crossing.
Actually,
Um,
I think there is, and you said it at the very beginning. What did you say the first thing to do in Animal Crossing was?
make sure you like where your residential service building is.
Yes. Which, in theory, that means you can mess up by picking a location or something that you don't want later on.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I would hope, because they said in the Nintendo Direct that there were other things that they didn't announce or say, that were going to be in the update that, we just have to discover and see. And one of the things that I really would hope, and I don't need this for myself, but I know that other people would really benefit, is if they were able to move where the residential service building was. Because I know so many people delete their island and start over because they can't move a building. And you can move anything else. You can move where your house is, you can move the campsite, you can move Able Sisters, you can move any of your villagers' houses, but you can't move residential services, and it really should count as a building because it is a building.
No, yeah, and I figure it would be annoying to have to start all over again just because you decide later on that you didn't like the placement of
Yes, and a
one.
lot of people start over and they have so many hours in the game, and I give them a lot of props, but I also question them at the same time because they have so many recipes that they have to learn and get all over again. And that's one reason why I'd never start over the game,
You question
because
their
there are so many
sanity.
recipes.
Hmm. Okay. Now, I have one final big question, which is involving amiibos. Now, if you
Sure.
scan an amiibo from, say, Zelda or Mario or something, does anything happen? Or do you
Now,
know?
I have no idea. I honestly don't think it would work. I think it would say like, sorry, like this won't work or something like that. But I don't know at the same time because
Okay.
Nintendo could make something pop up like a little message or something. I really don't know. You could always try.
Well, because the reason I ask, because in quite a few other Nintendo titles, when you use amiibos from the same game, especially the same game, but also different games sometimes, you will get like certain chests or certain rewards or fish or something.
I mean, it's never like a harm to try because you could honestly like end up getting mailed something like from Nintendo, like a gift or something like that. You never know until you try it.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
you're always getting mail in the game. Um, one of the things that you'll always get letters from is your mom. Your mom will mail you like, it's your birthday. I hope you have a great birthday. This is a memory I have of you when you were a child, and then she'll send you like a shirt or something like that.
Oh,
And
okay.
like it's just like little like heartfelt letters and stuff like that. And like you'll also get letters from your villagers as well. Sometimes you'll get presents, sometimes you won't. But you can also mail yourself a letter. You can mail like your future self a letter. Or you can mail like me a letter, or you could mail one of your own villagers a letter.
Oh,
So,
okay. The mailing itself, each itself a letter sounds kind of cool, actually.
yes, I actually saw somebody posted on Twitter um, earlier this year. They wrote a letter to themselves, and it was like dear self, I wonder if we're still in a pandemic.
Hmm.
And then they opened Animal Crossing and they were like, oh my god, I forgot that I sent myself this. And I thought it was hilarious.
uh, okay, okay. Well, before we actually end the episode, I do want to ask you, do you have any advice, anything that's vital, like that we didn't talk about, that I should do in Animal Crossing, that everyone does, but I want to know because I've never played Animal Crossing?
Okay, this is this is really difficult because everybody plays Animal Crossing their own way. And I don't know if this is me giving horrible advice, but I this is the way I play, and it's okay if you don't play this way to anybody who's listening. But Vamp, are you the type of person like when you play a game, you let like the natural flow of time or whatever in the game go, or do you ever wish you could like time travel and get to like the next day and like get your items? You know what?
I
This is how I could relate it to Warframe. Do you ever wish you could just get your stuff that's building and just get it done without having to spend anything?
uh, Okay, yes, I do wish that in Warframe. But see, that's the thing. Warframe is literally the only game I wish that with. I have no problem waiting in any other game for regular time flow because of the fact that I'm usually busy doing something in real life, be it editing a video, making another video, you know, live stream, etc., etc.
Right. But this is the way I view it. So in Animal Crossing, there's only like so much that you can do in a day before it's like you wish that you could um fast forward and make it a new day so that there's new stuff in the stores and that you could just do everything over again. So like every single day in Animal Crossing, like you go into the store, you can see the furniture items, you go into Able Sisters, you see the clothing store, um, and you, at least in my daily routine, I go around to all of my villagers and I give every single person a gift. On the beach, there's always a message in the bottle that has a recipe in it. Um, and I dig up all my fossils for the day. I go and I sell them. And then, I do whatever else I need to do. And then sometimes I'll fast forward to the next day, which the way that you do that is you have to change the time on your Nintendo Switch because you can't Nintendo just won't let you do it unless the time on your Nintendo Switch is the same. So, I play by time traveling a lot because, especially in the beginning of when you start playing Animal Crossing, I feel like you're going to want to time travel a lot because everything's going to be building and taking a while to open, and you're going to be like, oh my god, I wish I could get this done faster. But you might you might be okay, you might be patient, but at the same time you might be like, oh my god, like I want everything to be done with already. I
Actually,
can't wait to
that
see.
brings, I did have a question, but you kind of answered it already, which was I was originally going to ask, does 1 minute in Animal Crossing equal 1 minute in real life? But I guess
Yeah,
you
I
kind
think so.
of answered that yes, if it goes by time on the thing, then that means they both should be the same. But my other
Yeah.
question now is you mentioned time traveling and changing the time on the Switch. So let's say you time travel a day forward. So you change the time a day forward or whatever, a few hours forward, whatever. But then you want your Switch to read the regular time again. You go back to the normal time. What does the game do then?
Nothing.
It just does nothing.
Like the one issue with like time traveling is like, okay, today's Halloween. If I went past Halloween and then I came back to Halloween, I wouldn't be able to celebrate the Halloween event today because technically Nintendo made it so that if you time travel and go past the holiday and then come back, you can't celebrate the event because they don't like people who time travel.
Oh, okay.
So when
Okay.
you time travel, you want to be careful that you don't go past the holiday. But there's really like the only thing that I can say about time traveling is that like maybe your weeds will grow if you go a couple days, but like it's not gonna like infest the entire town. Like you might get one or two weeds grow, but it's like you need weeds to build a couple of items in the game. So weeds are actually like a needed resource, whereas in like GameCube, like it was just an infestation that you couldn't do anything with. So like I find time traveling very useful. You can get more done because you can find more items quicker, y- sell things and pay your things off quicker, but at the same time there are individuals who like the regular flow of time because you're not rushing through everything, which I can admire. I appreciate, both sides of the gameplay.
Ah, okay. Okay, okay. I'll probably, if I'm being honest, I'll probably just keep the regular flow of time.
Also, another reason people time travel is because, let's say, like it's 10 o'clock at night or something, and you want to go to the store and sell stuff. Well, the store isn't going to be open because like it's closed. Well, Nook's Cranny closes at like 9 o'clock or something like that.
Nine
But they're
o'clock?
bringing,
No
but they're
24 hour?
bringing No, but they're bringing in these ordinances to the game with the free update that you can like set your town to be like a night owl, and I don't know how much later it's gonna be open, maybe until 12 or something like that. But it's still like it causes a problem for people who play really late at night. Like you, for example, if you weren't gonna be on at like 1 a.m., everything would be closed.
Ah, okay, that does make sense. That does make.
So that's why a lot of people time travel because, like, for me, for example, there's a lot of times where I play at night or like whatever, and I'm like, I can't actually keep it in real time because everything is closed.
Okay, okay.
So maybe sometimes you might need to adjust the time, but it's not gonna like hinder your game in a huge way. Like, it's not gonna like make people hate you or like it's nobody's going to like notice in the game unless like you went a year ahead, because I accidentally was in 2020 with my game and then I realized I was in the wrong year, and everybody in my town was like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in a year, and I was like, oh god. uh, but it was like whatever, it's not like people will move out. It's it's totally okay.
Okay, okay. And I think that all good tips. We covered tips, tricks, and we covered a lot of knowledge because you have a lot of Animal Crossing knowledge. And we even
I do my best.
related Animal Crossing to Warframe. So I think we
I did.
checked all the boxes. Do you have any final words for the people listening?
My best final words would be to try oh my god, try Warframe. To try Animal Crossing if you haven't, whether it be on GameCube or the Wii or wherever you want to try it on the 3DS or the Switch, whichever. I personally have the baby Switch, but you know, any Switch is okay as long as Animal Crossing is on it. But I feel like giving it a try, even though it's a relaxing game that has no violence or anything like that, sometimes the best thing everybody needs is just a game where they can unwind in. And I feel like Animal Crossing should be that game for some people. And that
Uh,
is my final thing to say.
and this is where you'd say that you're secretly sponsored by Nintendo.
Sponsored by Nintendo. I'm kidding.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We aren't fancy enough to be sponsored by Nintendo. But yeah, with that said, I will catch you all in the future. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, you guys learned a lot about the video game known as Animal Crossing. I was going to say Warframe. Okay. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye.